Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking some seriously eye-opening source material that looks at, well, the ultimate currency. And no, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about your time. Because here's the thing, every single second you spend endlessly scrolling or making excuses, that's time you are literally never getting back. So we're going to look at exactly what separates the people who maximize this currency from those who just kind of waste it.
Right off the bat, I want to ask you a question. And I mean, really think about this for a second. What did you do yesterday that actually moved you closer to your goals? If you're struggling to answer that, hey, you aren't alone. It is so easy to fall into the trap of living as if time is just this unlimited resource, right? Mindlessly swiping away while your actual real life just happens without you.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source material highlights this incredibly brutal truth. When you waste time, you aren't just being unproductive. No, you're actually committing a theft. You are stealing from the person you could become. Think about that. Every single opportunity you let slip by just because you weren't ready or because you just didn't feel like it, that's a literal piece of your potential dying right there.
Section 1. Time. The Great Equalizer.
24. It's a super simple number, but here's a hard fact from the source material. Every single wildly successful person throughout human history had the exact same daily constraint that you and I have. Rich, poor, young, old, the whole shebang. We all get this exact same 24-hour allotment. The people who achieve these massive, unbelievable dreams don't magically unlock 26 hours in a day. The difference is entirely about what they choose to do with the hours they already have.
And this brilliantly illustrates the stark reality of those choices. We've got this massive 99% slice over here and a tiny little 1% slice over there. Even though both groups start with the exact same 24 hours, the life outcomes? Absolutely opposite. Because while the 99% is stuck waiting around and just planning, that 1% is actually out there executing and building.
Section 2. The 99% Mindset.
Oh man, we all know this voice in our heads. The one that whispers, you know what, I'll just start tomorrow. Or I'll do it when I have a little more time. We've all been there. Now, in the moment, that voice feels like it's comforting you, right? It feels like it's giving you a break from the stress. But the harsh reality? That little voice is actively destroying your future, one wasted day at a time. It's exactly what keeps you trapped in the exact same spot you were in 5 years ago, doing the same things, making the same excuses.
Now, it's absolutely crucial to understand something here. The people stuck in this 99%, they aren't lazy. They certainly aren't stupid. Honestly, most of the time, they are just completely exhausted. But the problem is they haven't learned the game-changing difference between just being busy and actually being productive. They fill their entire day with meaningless tasks, hiding behind the excuse of, oh, I'm just so slammed right now. They miss the point that time isn't just money, time is literally life itself.
Let's look at how this builds into the true cost of all that lost potential. Because it isn't just about your output at work, it's really about your own self-respect. Every single time you choose the easy path, every time you pick staying comfortable over pushing for growth, you are basically sending a signal to yourself that your dreams just don't matter. You're telling yourself that your future, it just isn't a priority.
Which leads us to a really fascinating difference in how these two groups actually handle their days. Most folks in the 99% essentially rent out their time to whoever happens to be demanding it the loudest. They hand over their absolute best, most energetic hours to jobs they might not even care about, to people who don't appreciate them, and to stuff that simply does not matter. The 1%, on the other hand, they practice time ownership. They are the bosses of their schedule, deciding exactly where every precious minute goes.
The source material uses this incredibly powerful metaphor for the 99%. They treat their time like a handful of dry sand. They just let it slip right through their fingers without even really noticing it's gone. They scatter all their focus across 1,000 different, tiny, meaningless distractions. And then, they look around a few years later and wonder, hey, why has nothing significant ever happened for me?
Section 3. The 1% Mindset.
So the crucial point is, the ultimate solution here isn't actually about time management at all. Nope, it's about life management. It's this deep understanding that every single minute you are breathing, you are making an active choice, period. You are either investing in your future or you're stealing from it. You're either actively becoming the person you're meant to be or you're just settling for who you've always been.
Let's contrast that sand metaphor we just talked about with how the 1% actually views their time. They treat it like a river flowing down a mountain. Think about how water moves. It doesn't waste itself, right? It finds the absolute most efficient path straight to its destination. It doesn't stop to take a nap in some comfortable little puddle, and it sure doesn't get permanently stuck behind every random rock in its way. It has one single purpose: get to the ocean. Your time needs to flow exactly the same way, with serious purpose, clear direction, and just unstoppable momentum toward your goals.
Section 4. Systems over motivation. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how entirely independent the 1% strategy is from having quote-unquote perfect conditions. Listen, the most successful people out there, they do not wait around to miraculously find time. And they definitely don't rely on feeling motivated, because motivation is fickle. Instead, they create rock-solid systems. They take the messy, imperfect circumstances they have right now and they use them. They prioritize their future selves way above their present comfort.
Section 5. Your moment of truth.
All right, we've reached a critical juncture here. The secret is totally out. The most successful people in the world aren't magically smarter or inherently more talented than you are. They just made a conscious decision to stop throwing their time away and to start investing it. So before you click away, before you check another notification or find some other way to distract yourself, make a choice. Choose just one important task you've been putting off. Stop waiting for the stars to align or for the perfect moment. Do it right now. No hesitation. Because guys, the life you want, it is not going to build itself. I'm going to leave you with this one vital question. Are you going to be part of the 99% who just sit around waiting for someday? Or are you stepping into the 1% who deeply understand that someday is today? The choice is entirely yours. But remember, the clock is ticking, life isn't hitting pause for anyone, and every second you hesitate is gone forever. So, what are you waiting for?